So, Leslie, let's start with you. You're a writer at the New York Times, a challenging career, and you have kids, and you have a husband, and you're getting meals on the table.
Yes, this is true.
Super mom, right?
Well, I got a lot of, after I wrote an article about this, I got a lot of letters saying super mom, and I think the point I wanted to make was not that you have to be super mom. There's a lot you don't get to do. So you make your choices, and if one of them is that you want to cook for your family, and that's where I drew the line in my own working life, as we know working mothers have to make some choices, I think it can be done, and I've been doing it for a decade now, so I wanted to share with folks what you could do and how you could do it if you wanted to play the game.
All right, we'll get to your game plan in just a second, but Lolita, you started modernmom.com, and why? It's a website where moms can sort of banter about and find out information about raising their family, and I noticed you have food on there as one of the subjects.
Absolutely. It's all about helping today's busy moms create balance in their lives and how to cut corners and try to tackle everything that their days bring.
The food segment, for example, tell me about why you needed that section.
Well, food's important. Obviously, cooking healthy meals and getting dinner prepared for the family is important to moms, but as you know, Leslie knows, it's difficult to make it happen. So one of our objectives with our food and home section is to provide options for how to make healthy meals, cut corners, and get it done.
Leslie, what's your sense? What does being at the family table do for the children?
Well, I can tell you that my husband and I have grown to really enjoy family meals with our kids because it's a chance to talk about the day, see what's happened. But we learn a lot, and I think we share a lot of information. They have a lot of questions about how the world works. So I can't speak for every teen in America, but I can say that it's a real joy for us to be able to sit at the table from them and hear their questions about how life is really going. They've got a lot, they see a lot in the news these days. They've got a lot of questions. That's a great place to start.
So does dinner become more about the family gathering more so than the food?
Absolutely. You can't cook because it's about the food. The food is really about your own standards and what you want to bring for your family. And I think my husband deeply appreciates it, and I do think my kids appreciate it, but they don't always say it. So you're doing it for yourself in part, and because you think it's good for them. You won't always hear it directly. Maybe 10 years from now, when they're in college, they'll say, "Mom, I miss you."
I miss your food.
I miss your food.
I miss the family dinners. Lolita, what's the sense that what's the feedback you're getting from moms? Is it we really want to know the recipe, or we really want to get to the table as a family?
Exactly. I think the focus is more on how to make that time to make the meals happen, not so much making the meal itself. With our hectic schedules, you know, with careers, shuttling the kids back and forth to school and activities, our schedules are so much busier that often we hear that families are eating their dinners in the car, having cereal, you know, separately for dinner, and not having the opportunity to sit down at the table for dinner. So really our focus is not so much on making the meal, although Leslie's plan is fantastic if you do like to cook, but really making the time to make the family meal happen.
I think it's interesting, Leslie, you said that you find comfort in cooking. So it's not a chore for you so much.
No, and I think that that's important. I think that I got a lot of feedback from women who said, but you know, you made me feel so bad. I didn't mean to do that. I think the real point is I get a lot of comfort in it. I love looking at recipes. I like to cook. It is important to me what goes on my table. I want it to be healthy, but I want it to be delicious to eat. I care what I eat. So that's all very important to me. And I do find it comforting to know, as I said in the article, I miss a lot of stuff in my kid's life. I don't get to a lot of school events. You know, it's just the way it is. But it makes me feel better, and it makes me feel like my kids know I care every day because they get a hot meal from me.
And when they are in college, they will appreciate it if they haven't told you yet. Let's talk about your game plan. And we have some tips. So the first thing is Sunday. Sunday seems like most people are taking it off. It's a day of rest, not necessarily for you, Leslie.
Right. And what I said is if you're going to cook for the week, especially if you're a working mom, you got to plan. And it doesn't have to be hours, it doesn't have to be the whole weekend, but you have to take some time out. Now maybe you can figure out there are all sorts of shopping services that will deliver your groceries, but you have to plan ahead. You have to say to yourself, what am I eating Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday? Now that sounds hideous, right? But the truth is it takes a lot of pressure off so that when you get to Tuesday, you're no longer thinking about what you have to have Tuesday. You do it on Sunday when you have time, you do a little planning, a little prep, you do your grocery shopping, and you're in great shape for the week.
And you can even get the kids to go grocery shopping with you too, so if depending on their age and their activities.
No, that's right. Sometimes kids do like to participate. We find that once for a while we were bringing walkie-talkies to the store and sending our kids out to do some of the grocery shopping, and they really like that. A little less now, but we keep tricks to keep them involved.